Great day, great day, great day. I'm Coach Kevin Gibbs, your um, college recruiting expert with Shooting for Greatness. And today we're going to cover the top 6 out of pocket expenses every student athlete must prepare for, right? College is very expensive, right? We know there's many people in this country in a lot of debt because of student loan, because they have to pay for their education. So as an athlete, as a student athlete, you could be afforded the opportunity to go to school for free or little to no cost, right? If you learn how to take advantage of your athletic and academic um leverage it, right? Keyword I always say is leverage. Learn how to leverage that into a free education, right? I'm not even gonna say a free education, a college education, to put yourself in a position to live a college dream that you want to do that less than 5% of um, youth athletes have the opportunity to do, right? And so it could cost your family a lot of money if you're just gonna go to school, right? So being an athlete can help you not have to worry about being in debt, right? So affording to go to college, right? Once you understand the various types of funding available to student athletes, it's time to put all the information together in order to figure out how you can afford going to your dream school in the future. First things first, which costs are actually covered by an institutional scholarship? Or put differently, what kind of course are you looking at when you're applying for a university? It's a bit of a jungle out there with every school presenting expected course in a slightly different way. Annoyingly enough, there are even schools working with outdated numbers, such as total cost of attendance for the academic, total cost for the academic year 2022 and beyond, which is not very helpful when doing your research. What are the total costs of attendance and the various types of course included in any school's financial breakdown? This is the starting point. What are the total costs of attendance, right? You want to go to Duke, UNC, NC State. What's the difference between them, right? One might be a public, one might be a private, a state, right? So you got to know a lot of state schools are a lot cheaper. It's a lot cheaper to go to NC State than it is to go to Duke. We're not even talking about athletic. We're just talking about cost, right? So that scholarship is worth a lot more money, right? And just dollar amount. Every scholarship is not weighted the same, right? Leverage. So what's the total cost of attendance? Any school in the US has a section of their website on the cost. Just go there and you'll figure it out, right? While some of the costs presented are direct costs, which is tuition fees, room, board, books, and materials, some of the costs are indirect costs: insurance, transportation, expenses, and personal expenses. Those are the 6 right there, y'all, right? The purpose of listing all these types of courses is for you to better understand what's going to cost you to attend a university for the 4 years, right? So tuition and fees. Tuition is the cost of studying full time in an academic year. Often this is an all-in package with a price tag for the first year, but it might also be calculated per credit hours taken. The range of tuition costs is huge, with some of the most renowned schools charging tuition easily 3 times the price of other schools. As a rule of thumb, tuition at state schools is lower than private schools. Fees, what are fees? It's somewhat of an annoying and controversial topic, as there is no clear structure all schools follow, and families may end up in surprise. Once they take a look at the student balance with all the various fees added, colleges end up being very creative and may charge fees for a lot of different things, such as student health services fee, technology fee, lab fee, orientation fee, campus fee, environment fee, tech fee, or athletic fee. Come on, that's like 7, 8 different types of fees. It usually says all that is fine print, on the university's website or in the financial breakdown for the upcoming academic years. However, there's a different approach some schools have been moving towards, such as the University of Cumberland, which offers one figure for tuition and fees, including all costs for its students. It's a one fixed fee. Tuition costs are usually subject to increase over time and should be aware of that. You can also review the historical price increases of the various schools, which give you a better idea of how costs may develop going forward. An increase of 1 to 5% per year is typically a realistic assumption. They're going to keep going up on prices. It's inflation, scholarship inflation, educational inflation. Room and board. The vast majority of universities requires all incoming freshmen to live on campus. Some schools even require students to continue living on campus during the sophomore year or even longer. But as a rule of thumb, freshman year, you're on campus. Starting your college life on campus is truly great because you really arrive in your new home for the next 4 years. Get to meet a ton of new people and make friendships that's going to last forever. However, you also pay for the experience, and it's often quite a large expense compared to living off campus. Depending on your school, there are a number of different housing options available. Dorm rooms such as a single, double, triple, even quadruple rooms, and apartment-style housing. Some schools have designated underclassmen, which are freshmen and sophomore, and upperclassmen, which is juniors and seniors, housing facilities available, with other schools offering different room rates depending on what you are looking for, shared or private bedroom. So what is board? Board covers your food expenses and is typically available in the form of different meal plans, such as 12 meals a week, 15 meals a week, 19 meals a week, or a limited meal plan. You sometimes also receive a set amount of money on your student card, which you can spend as you wish in your school's cafeteria. Often schools offer a room rate for the full academic year, which has a cheaper and more expensive rooms to choose from. The same goes for the meal plan, with fewer meals obviously costing less. Pick as you like, but make sure you understand what you're paying for. Because the requirements of living on campus may end after your freshman year, you should take into consideration to move off campus after your freshman or sophomore, or even junior year, which is hard to estimate exactly how much you end up saving by sharing an apartment or house with your teammates or the peers or anyone that you meet, basically getting a roommate. It's a conversation you should have with the coaches recruiting you, as they often have a very good idea based on the current student athletes housing setup. It's not unusual that athletes apartment houses are passed on within the team, meaning when a senior moves out, a sophomore could take his spot. Moving off campus is often, but not always, cheaper, as it depends on the location of the university. Some areas simply see much higher costs of living, and others, for example, a shared apartment in California is going to cost you a fair bit more than a similar place in a smaller town. For example, North Carolina, also some areas may have housing available for student houses budgets. A house basically saying, campus house is going to cost more in Cali than it is going to be in North Carolina, right? But it depends on the student housing budget. Books and materials, right? This figure is displayed in the total cost of attendance as well, and may sit somewhere between $500 and $2,500 US. Books are expensive, especially if bought newly. A quote: draw up a financial projection for the 4 years in college based on the scholarship offer received. Allow room for flexibility for the moving off campus and etc., but account for potential price increases, right? Everything's going up. Insurance. Most schools have specific requirements or recommendations which insurance plan students should purchase. Prices vary a lot due to different levels of deductibles, co-insurance, coverage, and benefits. While there's no right or wrong, the most important thing is to keep in mind for you is the intercollegiate injuries to be included. Coaches and athletic departments are typically involved in making sure you have the right coverage in place. In case you have any questions, ask the school recruiting you for assistance and they can help you. In case you have an existing health insurance in place, you don't need to purchase the insurance required by the university as long as you can show proof that your coverage is sufficient. For international students, this is often a bit confusing and complex topic as documents would need to get translated and might just be the easiest and safest to get additional insurance in the US. Some additional costs you may incur is transportation, right? Personal expenses, right? And so what are your remaining costs to pay for college? You should carefully consider how much money you are prepared to invest in your future education, right? What can you afford? How much money can your parents contribute? How good a school do you want to attend? And is it worth spending a little extra for the reputation of the school and the degree you'll earn, right? Then talk about work study opportunities, right? That's another thing. If you qualify for work study, if you have work study opportunities. Working on campus or working in some sort of student jobs close to your school is a smart way to helping pay for college. Make no mistake, your earnings potential is limited as you need to balance your time with school and work and athletic commitments. But working a few hours here and there is possible, of course. There is a limit on the potential hours you could be working on campus due to student positions available. But if that is an interesting option for you, you should get in contact with the people responsible once you arrive on campus. There you go. That's the 6 expenses, right? Room, board, tuitions, all types of fees. Books, materials, insurance, transportation, personal expenses. College is expensive, right? Like I said, 30 to 50,000 starting off, right? Some schools up to 75, 80, $100,000 per year. So that's like hundreds of $1,000s, right? That all could be saved. They covering mostly all of that or more with an athletic scholarship, right? So you definitely want to be a part of that 5%, right? And so saving is probably one of the biggest commitments that you're going to make. Like I said, look at how many people is suffering from student loan debt. Most athletes, they're not, right? Is it fair, unfair? I don't know. I'm just saying, leverage yourself to take advantage of it, right? So I'm Coach Kevin. That was a lot. Hope you enjoyed it. Very educational. Go back, watch it again. Read the text. That was the 6 out-of-pocket expenses. Add a couple bonus in there. And so if you like anything I said in this video, please like, share, subscribe. You found the educational enlightening in any way, shape, form, or fashion, right? I'm Coach Kevin, your college basketball recruiting expert. We're shooting for greatness, and see you next time. God bless.